Yo, what's going on? Man, I'm not gonna lie. Yo, this music wants to make me want to go to Cancun. Makes me want to dust off the passport, bust out the luggage, hop on the Uber to the airport, hop on the first thing smoking. Oh yeah, this is a Cancun episode. I know there's one game left in the first round of the playoffs. There's one game left between the Golden State Warriors and the Sacramento Kings on Sunday, Game 7. But I couldn't help myself. I had to get this Cancun episode off early. There's already a bunch of teams out there. The Brooklyn Nets and the Los Angeles Clippers, they're the party planners. They've been out there. They're getting everything right for everyone, making sure everything's good. You know what I mean? And those bum-ass Memphis Grizzlies, they're about to meet them out there. You know, they're getting their stuff packed up right now. Dylan Brooks, from talking all that shit, I'm sure is having to carry all the luggage out of crypto.com arena. Oh, I know they're tight with him. Oh, they are tight with him. They're not very happy. I'm curious to see if he comes back. Anyhow, welcome to another episode of the Agree to Disagree podcast. I am EmpireJeff, and man, it's been 3 years since the Los Angeles Lakers were healthy and made it out of the first round. 3 years. So I know we typically don't overreact over a first round win, but tonight I'm gonna. Because you know what? I can. I've been here through all the torture, all the good, all the bad. And, you know, we won a nice little drop for a Braun guy here. Got our chip. They've been hurt ever since. The bubble tax, still trying to make up for that. But, man, I don't know if I've ever enjoyed a first-round victory as much as I'm enjoying this one. Typically don't get too excited over first-round victories. You know what I mean? That's usually for Clipper fans. That's usually for, like, other teams. But I'm enjoying this one. And Memphis Grizzlies definitely had to drink a tall glass of shut the fuck up. It's going around just round after round on the plane to Cancun. They just handed them out. Unlimited, bottomless glasses of that. Bottomless. Yo, Dylan, get him another one. And another one. Just keep it coming. But I got to say, man, I don't know if I've ever been so confident in a number 7 seed versus a number 2 seed in my life. Never. I just felt that team was immature, unprepared. And, there's something about, forget just a ball player, a basketball player, or athlete or anything. There's something about a person when they just do not let any sign of vulnerability. Like, they got to be, like, charged up hard all the time. Like, they can't be, they can never admit wrong. They can't admit they got. Like, they can't learn from something. Like, those type of dudes, those type of people, those type of players, they're going to fall on their face. And when they do, we going to laugh. And, they brought that on themselves. But anyways, check it. So, again, I'm not going to lie. I had the Lakers in 6. I did. So they won in the night that I thought they'd win on. But I did not know that they was going to whoop that trick as bad as they did. They whooped that trick. Like, they whooped them so bad that, like, their family members felt it. Like, that was just, they put hands on them. And, hams on them. See what I did? Darvin hams on them. And shout out to Darvin, man. That boy was put through the ringer, self-inflicted. But I've been telling people for about 48 hours that I felt this was the first time since he was coaching the Lakers that his back was against the wall. I said that, if the Lakers lost this series, that Darvin would not be fired. But he would wish that he got fired because the Heat was going to be crazy. Caliente. I got to speak a little Spanish on the Cancun episode. But Darvin, there's a couple of things. And one of them I believe he was called upstairs. He got sent to the principal's office and they were just like, dog, what are you doing? What are you doing? Explain yourself. He explained himself and they were like, nah, we gonna switch stuff up. Second thing was he saw his mentor get just demolished in Game 7. And for you guys that don't know, he came off of, that Milwaukee Bucks staff coached by Coach Bud. And that was one of the worst performances. You want to talk about going to Cancun? It looked like he just wanted to go because if you were going to show someone a video who's never seen basketball, they've never seen a basketball game in their life, and you wanted to show them how to 100% lose the most important game of your season, show them the final, 5 minutes of the fourth quarter and all of overtime. Just show them that. That's a true definition of what that was. Because, man, that boy was, no timeouts in end of regulation and no timeouts in overtime, meaning he didn't use any. Like, did you guys see that play? Like, where they threw the ball in? The Milwaukee was, I believe they were tied. They threw the ball into Giroux. No, they were up. They threw the ball into Giroux, Holiday, and he gets kind of trapped on the baseline there. And instead of calling a timeout, which they had, he tries to throw it to Middleton. Lowry knocks it away. They called a foul. They reviewed it, overturned the foul, called the jump ball. Okay, should have used the timeout right when Holiday had it on the baseline. Then on the, I can't make this shit up. On the jump ball, Milwaukee, it's still crazy to me. Milwaukee wins the jump ball. Giannis gets the ball and is just so terrified that he's about to get fouled that he throws it to the front row. Luckily, Middleton was able to, like a bumbling fool, knock the ball back in bounds. They get fouled. You know what I mean? And they go to the free throw line. But then Jimmy hits that ridiculous shot to go to overtime. And they're in another situation at the end. They did make a slight comeback to get to within one bucket. And they still don't call a timeout. And I'm just like, what is going on here? I don't know, man. I felt like I unlearned so much basketball that night. It was crazy. But anyways, the whole way that man coaches, Coach Bud that is, not calling timeouts, ridiculous sub patterns, no adjustments. Darvin comes from that coaching tree. So a lot of this stuff that people are saying, okay, he's being stupid, he hasn't learned yet, yada, yada, yada. While true to a point, he's also going on the tutelage of what he learned and is what his basketball fundamentals and what he stands on. He does not make adjustments in series, in game. Like, he sticks to his game plan pretty much without any adjustments to it. And it's not to say he made zero adjustments, but what I'm saying is he believes in his strategy longer than he should. And I think watching Coach Bud just get shellacked the other night, seeing what the media has done to him, hearing what Giannis said about him in the press conference, basically saying, I don't know why he wasn't having me guard Jimmy, and I don't know what's going on. And then hearing Jay Crowder pop off. Like, I think Darvin was like, okay, maybe the way I'm going about things is wrong. And he definitely had a talk from upstairs. They definitely said, let's chat for a second, my guy. Probably started a new group chat. Hit him with a couple emojis. So come upstairs, bro. We got to talk. But that talk worked. Because Darvin coached his ass off tonight. That might have been the best game I've seen Darvin coach. That game in Milwaukee early in the year that they won, he coached that game well. He's had some good coaching games this year, but they're few and far between. But tonight, no Malik Beasley, no Troy Brown Jr. when the game mattered. They were in garbage time, but not when the game mattered. And that's what we've been asking for. Those lunatic Laker fans who think Mo Bamba's going to change a series, they got to at least see him in garbage time, but he wasn't going to get any run. The big man they should have played more minutes, and they did, was Wenyen Gabriel. And he played great. But I got to say one thing, though. I've been saying something all year. Even when the Lakers started off 2-10, when they pretty much hovered around the 13th and 14th seed for the most of the season. I had a little mantra saying, kind of like throwing it all around on Twitter. I was telling to everyone I could say, hashtag let Rob work. Shout out to Rob Pelinka, man. He got us that win tonight as much as any player on that floor. Because did you see D'Lo tonight? Did you see Vando tonight? Rui? And shout out to Beasley and shout out to Troy Brown Jr. because they basically were taken out of a rotation at probably last minute's notice. And they were cheering as hard as anyone on the bench for their teammates' success. Those are good teammates. Shout out to them. But shout out to Rob Pelinka, man. And shout out to my guy, Coach Joe. You saw the episode we did, the last episode. We were talking about that Let Rob Work segment. I've been kind of preaching that to him all year. He finally came around to it. And I'm just happy for Rob Pelinka, man. That guy works hard, and it's good to see him. I don't know where the Lakers are going to end up, but, yo, they weren't even supposed to make the playoffs. Like where they were most of the year, they were just getting trashed. The Russell Westbrook situation was bananas. And while Rob was part of the decision-making that got us into that mess, he got us out of that mess. So shout out to him. Now on to round 2. We don't know who we're going to face yet. I thought we were going to be the Warriors because I thought we were going to face the Warriors. I thought they were going to win in 6. They did not hold up their end of the bargain tonight, so they play Game 7 on Sunday, and that's going to be a great one. But of all these teams that have gone to Cancun, man, I did not have Milwaukee going there. I did not. And I'll tell you what, I know I talk a lot of trash about the Clippers because it's fun. I don't really hate the Clippers. It's just these weird old fans that act like they're Clipper fans, but they're not. They're just like Braun haters or like, I don't know. It's just some weird stuff. But shout out to the real Clipper fans. I got no beef with you. I actually respect you. You know, if that's your team, that's your team. You're not just a fanboy. You're not just picking a team because you hate another team. Shout out to y'all. I got respect for you guys. But all BS aside, like had Kawhi and PG been healthy, or if even just Kawhi stayed healthy, Phoenix is the one in Cancun right now, yo. I mean, I believe that. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. But I think Phoenix has no chance in that series if at least Kawhi stays healthy. And, you know, I mean, shout out to Russ for finding his happiness. But I'm not going to sit up here and lie about these false narratives about how great he was on the Clippers. His usage rate goes up. His numbers go up. But you're not going to win with him as, you know, playing that way. Just not going to happen. But shout out to him and his family for finding their happiness. That's what's up. Now, Brooklyn, Brooklyn did not go hard. We really haven't been in anything since that trade. They made the playoffs on the strength of KD and Kyrie's record. So that was kind of just weird that people thought that they were going to make some noise. But, you know, they got a nice little crew. You know, they play hard. They try hard. That's a cool little team over there. You know, they got to figure out how to add some stars over there with that weirdo owner and that even weirder GM. Nah, I think the owner's weirdo. More. Probably I'll take that back. But shout out to the New York Knicks. Shout out to the New York Knicks. A lot of people didn't have them beating Cleveland. I felt Cleveland was a year early, and I wasn't positive that New York would beat them, but I was confident that they could beat them because New York was a little early too. But I was confident that they could beat them, and they did. So like I said, I did not have Miami taking out Milwaukee. I definitely had Philly taking out Brooklyn. I definitely had Boston taking out Atlanta. That would have went a little longer than I thought it would. I thought Boston had that in 5 at the most. But they got a rookie coach, too. And they're dealing with some stuff that we deal with Darvin. And that's going to be interesting because I got people have been making fun of me all year because I've been kind of bigging up Philly. And I've been burned by Philly before. And they just seem different to me this year. You know, their ability to hit the 3 at a high level, get to the free throw line, make their free throws. Their defense is solid. Their offense is solid. But they got Doc and they got Harden, and that's hard to trust. However, and for the life of them, they just can never seem to beat Boston. Preseason, regular season, postseason, doesn't matter. Boston has their number. Like the Clippers do to the Lakers right now, which is a real thing. I got no problem admitting that in the regular season and preseason. We haven't faced them in the playoffs. Boston has that advantage with Philly. And I don't know if when I say Philly seems different, if this is going to end different. But there's one advantage Philly has. And it's going to sound kind of weird. And I hate to even try to give this guy an advantage because I really just don't like the dude. But they have the advantage with Doc. Now, Doc gets out coached all the time. I've seen it. He's not great at adjustments. He's a mouthpiece. But he really, he's still basically in the league and living off that 2008 championship. But one advantage Doc has is that he knows the pressure and he knows what it's like to coach a Boston Celtic team in the playoffs. And he knows that rookie coach over there is going through that. And he may leverage that. He may throw that out there in the media. He may, throw that out, this guy's got his hands full. He's got to try to win in Boston. Like, I could see him toying with it and toying with that dude and kind of making his life a little bit more stressful. I could see that. But in the second round out here in the West, Denver and Phoenix, I'm struggling there. Obviously, if KD and Book go dummy again, they definitely can win that series, but they got to play a ton of minutes, y'all. Like, KD's got to probably play 40 minutes. Book's got to play 40, 42 minutes. They got to hope to get 38 minutes out of a fossil that is Chris Paul. Like that's a lot of minutes. And KD still looks like he's playing his way into shape. I don't know if you guys noticed that in the first round. Like, it took to about game 3 for him to really get any type of burst. He's been kind of like in chill mode on autopilot out there. Still playing great. Dude's still a monster in autopilot. But shout out to Devin Booker, man. I really can't stand that guy, but that dude's a bucket. I mean, my God, what he did in that Clipper series was bananas. But you're going to have to play all those minutes in altitude in Denver for the first 2 games. And you got to hope you get a split. But I was never really that high on Denver. I was waiting to see how these matchups lined up. When they got Minnesota, I figured they could take them. They can beat Phoenix, and Phoenix can beat Denver. So I think this probably goes at least 6 or 7 games. Right now, I'm leaning Denver. But I got to see. This isn't a series I'm going to put money on because I've got to see how the first couple of games go. And I got to see what Phoenix's strategy is minutes-wise for these guys because I can't call it right now. But if I had to, if I was forced to pick, I would pick Denver right now. But I'll be the first to tell you my pick in that series may switch. Excuse me. Obviously, the Lakers, we don't know who we are facing yet. But it's going to be, it's going to be fun either way. I'm excited the Lakers don't got to travel that far. It's either Sacramento or San Francisco. That'd be dope. Save them some travel, even, if you got games where there's not 2 days off. That's really going to help. But I think the Lakers can beat either one of them. We've pretty much had our way with the Warriors all season. Sacramento, we can definitely beat. I don't think AD played in any of the games we faced them this year. We've beaten them in Sacramento already and without AD, as I mentioned. So I'm confident going into this either way. Obviously, can we get got and can we get beat by either? Of course. Lakers got flaws. But if this Laker team can manage, if AD can stay healthy, obviously. But I think AD is going to have a little lighter load in the next round. I don't think he's going to be required. There's not going to be a Jaren Jackson that he's going to have to face, really. Sabonis is over there, but he's not Jaren Jackson. It's different. And really, Draymond, he doesn't really have to guard him. So it's going to be a little different. I think we may see AD go off a little bit more offensively, and he slays the Warriors. They have no answer for him. So, and when it comes to the Kings, they really don't either. So I really don't care who we face. I think the matchup of Braun versus Steph in round 2, that would be dope. Definitely wouldn't mind seeing that, but I don't really care who we face. And I got the Lakers being able to beat either one of them. So right now, if I had to pick, I would probably pick Boston to beat Philly. Knicks and Heat, I'm kind of where I'm at with Denver and Miami. I want the Knicks to win that series, but as I've said many times, it's hard to bet against the Heat because come playoff time, they just do their thing. Jimmy has superstar performances in the playoffs. He's not a superstar. He's not. And I know they say, if you playoffs is where you shine and where superstars shine the brightest, but no, you got to be a superstar all year. You got to be a superstar, every game. if to be labeled a superstar. You can have bad nights, and you can have, you can get into a slump. But a superstar is a superstar, not just some guy who turns it on in the playoffs. Because if that's the case, Rondo would have been labeled a superstar, the playoff Rondo label. He was never a superstar. Even though he didn't put up 50-point, 58-point game, 56, what Jimmy did. But the myth of him turning it up in the playoffs, playoff Rondo was a real thing. Playoff Jimmy is a real thing. But Jimmy's not a superstar. He's just not. He very well might be the best player in these playoffs right now. I think, early on I said it was, I was pretty much saying it was Devin. It was Devin Booker, Jimmy Butler, and between Joel Embiid and De'Aaron Fox. I gave it to Jimmy just because he's a two-way player. But the more I think about it, man, Book has just been cooking. But yeah, I still give that to Jimmy. But man, I'm excited right now. I'm excited. Not as excited as the team that won the game. I'm sure they're loving sending those Memphis Grizzlies home. They just been, oh man, God, they talk so much trash. I love good trash talk. Like I do. I love talking trash. I love receiving trash talk. I love it. But there's something about trash talk that's not valid. When someone's talking to you and you know they're just not about what they're talking, it just doesn't make it as fun. Because how are you going to talk back to someone that's, it's like an 8-year-old kid talking to you that they're going to beat your ass? What are you going to do? Okay, that's cute. Like, what are you going to do? You can't beat his ass. You know what I mean? So it's like, they're like little kids. So when they talk, you really can't take them serious. So it's like, just get out of here. Get to Cancun. Go get you a drink. The Clippers will be there ready to serve you up something nice. They're waiting for you. Brooklyn's down there waiting for you too. But, man. And this game tonight, it was really weird because the beginning of it, the Lakers pretty much came out. Memphis, I think, went up 6-2 or something like that. Ja, was really aggressive off top. And the Lakers just hit their switch. And when I knew rather quickly that this game was over was because no matter, the refs had some really questionable calls early on. And I was like, what? They called a block on Austin Reaves that was non-existent. They didn't call this travel on Bane. They called this other foul on Braun. I was like, what is going on here? And the Lakers had a bunch of really stupid turnovers because, like the commentator said, they were going for the knockout punch. And Memphis just couldn't capitalize on them. When they couldn't capitalize off the turnovers, they couldn't capitalize off second chance points, and they couldn't hit their threes in big moments. I know they had 7 threes in the first half, but all of them felt like they never led to or were part of a run. They were so spread out. And they never could just, it's like they got knocked down 6 minutes into the game, and they were just kind of wobbly after that. They just couldn't get their balance right. They couldn't get their vision right. They just couldn't put themselves back together. And the Lakers smelled blood and just stepped on their throats. And Devin Booker says he's old and he pokes bears. Well, only thing you poking is a coconut, homeboy, in Cancun. So I'll make sure you have safe travels. Hope you and your family get out there safe. Enjoy yourselves. You guys got plenty of time to be out there. Just enjoy it. Live it up. You got man, what are we? We're in April? Man, y'all got a 5-month PTO. Damn. Talk to my HR department, man. How do I get 5 months PTO? That's crazy. But that's what happens when you go out in the first round or before. 5 months PTO. Yo, those boys got 5 months to drink a tall glass and shut the fuck up. Man. But all jokes aside, I'm very interested to see what they do. Do they bring Dylan Brooks back? Do they switch it up and they try to get someone else over there? They need a veteran in the worst way. They need someone who knows, how to be a professional, how to not provide bulletin board material, and just how to be a better pro. Because a lot of those dudes over there are just a bunch of fakes. They need some of that. I'm interested to see, keep an eye on Jaylen Brown, man. He's been pretty vocal, and he's talked about, potentially maybe not being in Boston long term. We'll see. We'll see if he becomes Supermax eligible. And if he does, Boston's got a decision to make. And if he hits the market, again, because if you listen to how he tells it, he definitely believes he was offered up in trade talks for Kevin Durant. So if Boston puts him on the market, if I'm Memphis, man, I do everything within my power that I can to try to get him. Because if you compare him with John Morant, and if you could find a way to keep Jaren Jackson, I don't know how you would with getting a talent like Jaylen Brown, but if you could find a way to get Jaylen Brown, who's a true professional, a good leader, a heck of a ball player, like, man, if I'm Memphis, I'm doing everything I can to try to get that done. But there'll be a lot of teams. If Jaylen Brown becomes available, there's a lot of teams that will line up to get him. I know Tatum is the guy on that team. He's the media darling, but that team wouldn't be anything without Jaylen Brown there. They'd be a team with a guy who can score 50 at any time, but they wouldn't be able to go very far. Jaylen Brown, adding him to a talent like Tatum is what makes that team what they are. So, hopefully for Boston's sake, they haven't messed that up already. But in case if they have, just keep an eye out, because Memphis, they're gonna be in play for him. But yeah, man, I just wanted to tap in. I wanted to wish these guys safe travels. I wanted to drop the Cancun episode, and yeah, I'll be checking back in with you guys maybe around Game 7 time for the Golden State Kings. Maybe I'll do a live stream. I know there's a game tomorrow, so maybe I'll check in with that. But it's been a great night of NBA basketball, especially if you're a fan of the Los Angeles Lakers. Not so much if you're a fan of the menace-ass Memphis Grizzlies. But join me in wishing them safe travels, and I'll catch you guys in a day or so. All right. Once again, I'm EmpireJeff, Agree to Disagree podcast. I'll talk to you guys soon.